in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So with that, let me turn this over for some of their comments. Chad, why don't we get started with you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here and to be part of Governor Braun's initiative on AI adoption. My name is Chad Harder. I'm the CIO of Jasper Group. We're a manufacturing company located right here in the state of Indiana, and we make commercial furniture that services workplace, education, healthcare, and hospitality. And like many companies, we've been exploring how AI can help us work smarter. We've been around for 150 years, so we've seen a lot of change. And we're already seeing a lot of meaningful value out of AI. I'd like to share one example. As we've grown, especially through acquisitions, we've ended up with a lot of engineering data. So if you think about a piece of furniture like that chair, it looks pretty simple, but it's actually made of a lot of different parts. And those parts have to be engineered. And so as we've grown through acquisitions, we've had basically all of those parts spread out through different disparate systems. And so our challenge was, how do we speed up the process of recreating those parts in a new, modernized, consolidated engineering system? And so we asked a simple question. Could we use AI to read our existing documents and JPEG files to automatically author those parts in this engineering system? And so, these drawings, there's thousands of them. If you think about all of our product lines across all of our families, hundreds of thousands of parts that need to be engineered correctly. So it started with that question, and we got connected with Indiana University. So through the Analytics IN program, we were paired with a team of students, master's degree students at Indiana University, and we kind of shared our challenge with them. So we worked really closely together. We shared requirements. We provided computing resources, supported them through the process, and what they have built for us is really impressive. So using AI, we're now able to extract all the information from these JPEG drawings with about 90% accuracy, and we're talking tens of thousands of documents. So basically what that allows us to do is to pull in all this information automatically, and it saves us literally 5 months of manual work that nobody really wants to do. It's monotonous, and it frees people up to work on a lot more important things, things that really move the needle. And so this one step is just one input, and we can take that data and then just automatically author those parts in this new engineering system. So that's pretty awesome for us. We're excited about that. Saves a lot of time. Beyond the results, the partnership has been a great experience. It shows how powerful it can really be when industry and higher education work together. Students gain real-world experience. We get practical, high-impact solutions. And so it's just been wonderful. We've got a lot of other AI use cases underway. That was just a very small one. But it highlights what's possible, especially for manufacturers here in Indiana. So I'd encourage others to explore partnerships like this. We have strong resources right here in our state, and they can play a big role in accelerating AI adoption. I appreciate being here today. Thank you for the opportunity, and best of luck as we all continue this AI journey together.
I welcome a tech solution to this. The secretary and I just met, and it's actually Heinemann. It's an old Scottish name. So anyway, good morning. I'm Joe Heinemann, owner of Heinemann Industrial Products and ResistanceWire.com in Fort Wayne. We design and supply industrial heating elements and resistance wire components for manufacturers and process heat operators across the country. It is an honor to stand here today with fellow Hoosiers who believe Indiana should lead in the practical adoption of AI. My company's edge is straightforward. We keep the right parts on the shelf, and we get them to our customers when they need them. Inventory is not just operations for us, it is strategy. And that is where we see the clearest opening for AI to do real work. The problem is familiar to any small manufacturer. Demand signals are noisy, lead times shift, good judgment lives in spreadsheets, memory, and years of experience. Forecasting by feel is expensive, both in capital tied up and in stockouts we cannot afford. Here is where many small businesses get tripped up with AI. They look for the best tool and expect it to solve the problem. We're starting somewhere different. We map the workflow first, every step, every handoff, every place a decision gets made. Then we're using AI to help the business we actually run. We're applying it in two places. First, in market research and business intelligence, especially as we evaluate acquisition targets. Second, in inventory management, sharpening our forecasting, our purchasing, and our alignment with customer demand. We're not doing this alone. The G-Beta Main Street Next program offered by the state in partnership with Generator, the AI and Fort Wayne community back home, and advisors who know our industry have helped us move from curiosity to practice. That Hoosier to Hoosier network is what turns a tool into a capability. The outcome so far is faster decisions, better throughput, and the confidence to keep hiring and keep investing in our Indiana business. A statewide initiative like AI matters for businesses like ours. It takes us from understanding AI to applying it, and it makes sure traditional industries are not left behind. To my fellow owners in traditional industries, map the workflow first, build the solution around the business, and put it to work. Thank you.
So there you've heard it, from Main Street to larger companies. I've talked a lot in Indiana about, we just did it a couple of weeks ago on life sciences and the unique kind of culture we have here for that, to organize it into something that stands out in Indiana. Talked about a quantum corridor that's a broader technological kind of approach, encompassing the market that we're very close to, the third largest economy here in the United States, Chicago, from the region down to Lafayette, to Indianapolis, to Bloomington, to Crane. Crane's becoming one of those places that is really distinguishing itself. So Indiana being the crossroads of America, we've always been the biggest state in advanced manufacturing, obviously logistics, but now it's a much broader view. And a lot of companies, you saw Iron Nation, Israeli entrepreneurial technology companies choosing this state to invest first in. This is just, I think, another glimpse into what taking all the elements of what makes a successful economy maybe have a home in a place like Indiana. So entertain any questions on the AI initiative, and you can ask any of the folks behind me as well. And go ahead and take the first question.
Governor Braun, you say that you hope this program will reach 1 million Hoosiers. What is the goal in terms of job growth, the actual number there? And second, will there be some sort of grant component for businesses that are interested in expanding their AI footprint?
So just like we've used ready grants, like we've used other things, it depends on the state's cash flow to be able to do it. You remember when I came in here, we had the austere budget forecast, and of course we've already defied it, and we're back on track to where we've got a lot of opportunity by running government more efficiently and being very progressive with stuff like this to benefit at least 1 million Hoosiers, if not more. When we were focusing on like Power Up, incentivizing people, if you raise your wages by 25%, we're going to be a partner with you. We've seen results already. Our economy is growing twice as fast as Ohio's and Illinois', 3 times as fast as Kentucky's, 6 times as fast as Michigan. So this is another tool in the toolbox, and so much, like I said earlier, is involved around embracing new ideas that are going to help your economy grow. And the North Star for this administration is high growth industries and sectors with the high wages that come along with it. So this is probably that arena that if you kind of approach it like we are here, hard to tell what the benefits might be. And if we're first, I think it gives us a leg up compared to our other 49 competitors.
Governor, obviously there's big concerns around AI being something that is going to take jobs, not make
Yeah.
them. What assurances can you give folks that this isn't going to lead to cuts?
Well, we had a conversation earlier. I got involved in the real estate business many years ago, and you had to make a deed with a typewriter. And the revolution there was whiteout or an eraser. So then a word processor came along. The internet came along. Of course, we didn't know where it was going to go. So I think you can extrapolate from there. The economy has gotten stronger, but this is something, when I was in DC, the creators of it here in our own country, that's where AI came from, wanted to be regulated by the federal government. I said, wow, I'd never seen anything since I've been observing where you'd want that to be the case. It's got bigger, consequences because our geopolitical foes want to get there with this before we do. So I think all of that we got to tread carefully. A lot of it is unknown to us, but if you don't embrace it and get to know it, you don't know where it's going to go. And I can tell you the rest of the world is looking at it too, and they want to get there first. So I think that is the way I look at it, as an opportunity. Anything new, you got to not necessarily embrace it without question, but if you avoid it, you might regret it down the road.
Governor, are there retraining or reskilling guarantees built into this program for workers who might be concerned about being displaced, replaced?
I mean, we've said from the get-go, this is going to be worker-oriented, and as we develop it, the ideas that will come forth from the people that are already using it, from larger companies that are embracing it probably more than Main Street, and how we look at it in terms of how we utilize it in our own state government. It'll be with that careful attention to make sure the end result is that we're ginning up our economy, we're adding jobs with higher pay, and we'll take the input that you do on anything new, tread carefully, but don't be afraid of it.
Is there specific timeline and benchmarks?
We've not fleshed out any of those details. We're just getting started currently, and you'll see plenty of that come forth.
Governor, how much of this is going to take the form of grants as opposed to like state-funded workshops, that sort of thing? And if you're doing grants, how will you decide who gets them?
Whichever way it comes from, it's going to be dependent upon how well we're doing through the economic development we've already got in place. I've just told you that that looks brighter than it's ever been, even though it had a bleak, faulty forecast that was given to us back in April of 25. So how we pay for it, whether it's through grants, whether it's through private partnerships, those are just the financing tools. They're all dependent on how healthy your underlying economy is and how well your state government is run.
Do you anticipate the involvement of any major AI companies, any major technology companies in this?
Ask that question again.
Do you anticipate the involvement of any major AI companies, any major technology companies in this program?
Well, we're going to take input from across the country in terms of what's working, in terms of other best practices. But when you look at, we'll get one more question on AI here, and then after we're done with that and taking some pictures, I will stick around for other issues unrelated to this. So tee those up. But when it comes to, I come from the world of being an entrepreneur. And I just remember in that journey, it was always more expensive. If you didn't do it, your competitor got it and you regret it. And you got to learn how to make the best of a tool, taking into consideration all these questions that have been asked. So yes, we'll look at whoever's on the leading edge of it. My goal is, as a state, we want Indiana to be on the leading edge of it as we use it in our own government and how we apply it to the real world, the real economy, which pays the bills.
Does the state plan?
Last question on this.
Does the state plan to commit any money to jumpstart this program for, say, like grants?
And we're looking at all that in terms of what we can do to make sure with this announcement that we want to be on the leading edge of it and make sure it's going to benefit the people that we're most concerned about, Hoosiers, hardworking Hoosiers, where we want to increase their pay. So there's a lot of that ahead of us, and if it's similar to what you've seen on other things like SMRs, what we've done to stay ahead of like affordability issues like utilities, we take fairly bold action to make sure we're changing the dynamic and then learn along the way like you do in anything. Thank you for all being here, and then we're going to get some pictures, and then I'll hang around for some other questions.